9.30 kilogram cocaine, with each pallet wrapped in candies, wraps, and concealed in his luggage. The suspect, who hails from Obaha, Okigwe village, Okigwe local government area of Imo State, lives in Liberia, where he works as a miner. Away from that, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, says it has received 158 Nigerian returnees from Libya through the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. The acting coordinator of the Lagos Territorial Office of NEMA, Ibrahim Farinloye, who disclosed this to newsmen in Lagos State, said the returnees who had been stranded in Libya departed Mitiga International Airport, Tripoli, aboard a chartered Baroque aircraft Boeing 737-800 with registration number 58DMG. Report says the returnee arrived Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, at about 5:47 p.m. yesterday. To legislative matters, the House of Representatives is investigating the National Cancer Control Plan established by the current regime to determine why some Nigerians with cancer cannot access treatment at the special centers. The resolution were sequel to the unanimous adoption of a motion titled "Called for Federal Government Intervention in Cancer Treatment in Nigeria." The House particularly mandated its Committee on Health Institutions and Healthcare Services to investigate the federal government's implementation of the National Cancer Control Plan 2018 to 2022 to ensure its implementation. It also asked the committees to ascertain the status of all radiotherapy cancer treatment centers in the country to come up with a workable plan to subsidize treatment for cancer patients. Still on legislative matters, House of Representatives has directed its Committee on National Security to brief the House on a quarterly basis on steps taken to improve the security situation in the country. The resolution followed a motion of urgent public importance on the recent kidnap of some persons and murder of one along the Kaduna-Abuja road. The lawmakers decried the country's state of insecurity as dire, despite huge amounts allocated to security. Meanwhile, a bill for an act to introduce measures aimed against the manufacturing, production, possession, and distribution of counterfeit goods in Nigeria passed through second reading at the Senate yesterday. Presenting the lead debate on the bill, Senator Ibikunle Amosun observed that the proposed legislation was imperative as existing legislations had allegedly been limited and weak in enforcement mechanisms. He listed some of them to include the Trademark Act, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDA) Act, and Standard Organization of Nigeria Act. The bill also provides for a criminal investigation into counterfeiting and seeks to make the prosecution of such crime less cumbersome to provide effective control of counterfeit goods. In another development, Anambra state government has reportedly reacted to the placement of the state governor, Willie Obiano, on the watch list by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Recall that the anti-graft agency had earlier written a letter to the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Services, NIS, requesting the immigration to place Governor Obiano on a watch list and inform them whenever he was traveling out of the country from any of the international airports as well as other points of entry. In reaction to this, Anambra State Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Don Adinuba, said the governor has 4 months left to remain in office, adding that there was no need for the commission to publicly announce that it is investigating Governor Obiano. Meanwhile, the federal government has launched an enhanced e-passport in the United Kingdom to improve the passport application process for Nigerians at home and in the diaspora. Minister of Interior Rav Aregbesola stated this during the official rollout at the Nigerian High Commission in London, United Kingdom. According to Rebesola, the Nigerian passport was the highest affirmation of Nigerian citizenship, making it the responsibility of the federal government to provide the passport without any stress within a reasonable time period. Away from that, former President Goodluck Jonathan will this weekend host the University of Port Harcourt alumni set of 1981. Jonathan, an alumnus and a pioneer graduating student of the Federal Institution, will alongside other of his former schoolmates participate in reunion activities scheduled for today, November 25th to Saturday 27th in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State Capital. The statement indicates that Professor Ibieberi Alogwa, pioneer deputy vice-chancellor of the University of Port Harcourt, is to serve as the guest lecturer for the conference, scheduled for 10 a.m. on Saturday, while Senator Doye Diri, governor of Bayelsa State, and alumnus of the school will serve as a special guest of honor. In Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has presented a budget estimate of 1.38 trillion naira for the 2022 fiscal year. The document-packed budget of consolidation was presented at the House of Assembly chambers. It put the recurrent expenditure at 564.9 billion naira, representing 40.4%, and capital expenditure at 823 billion naira, representing 59.6% of the total budget size. The event was witnessed by the Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat, members of the State Executive Council, lawmakers, traditional rulers, heads of security agencies, and other stakeholders. In a separate development, the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) has advised its staff to conform to ethical standards to strengthen the fight against corruption. NYSC Director General Brigadier General Shaibu Ibrahim made the call at the induction and training of members of the NYSC Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit subunits for area offices as well as State and FCT Secretariat by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission. The Director General, who was represented by NYSC Director Human Resources Management, Abiba Bapa, said the inauguration was a follow-up to the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit of the Corps inaugurated in September 2021. Back here in Akwa Ibom State Governor Domi Manjol has approved release of the 2020 promotions for civil servants with arrears in the state. The head of civil service, Elder Efiong Essien, disclosed this during a pre-examination seminar organized by the Civil Service Commission to prepare candidates due for promotion this year. According to the head of civil service, the policy of retraining and reassessing workers through promotion examination and seminar in line with the public service reforms has yielded tremendous result by enthroning competitiveness, equity, justice, and fair play for all within the service. Elder Essien appreciated Governor Emmanuel for approving the release of 2020 promotion and the conduct of the 2021 promotion, which is in process. In addition to his lofty policies and favorable disposition to workers' welfare, describing him as a worker-friendly governor, he therefore charged the workers to be more committed to their duties to reciprocate the governor's benevolence. In Africa, an Egyptian court has reportedly sentenced 22 Islamist militants to death by hanging for 54 attacks, including the attempted assassination of a former interior minister. The men were found guilty of committing 54 terrorist operations across Egypt, including the murder of a senior police officer, as well as an attempted murder of a former interior minister, Mohammed Ibrahim. The 22 convicted were found guilty of being members of the Ansar Bait al-Mahdi's group, which pledged its allegiance to the Islamic State's group in 2014. On the foreign scene, 3 Lebanese judges are reportedly resigned over interference by politicians in the work of the judiciary, including a probe into last year's Beirut blast. Announcing the resignation, the judges noted that a country where political leaders determine judicial appointments, including top courts, leave little room for the judiciary to work against Lebanon's ruling elite. They added that a probe into last year's monster port explosion has exposed the extent of such interference, with top officials mounting a complex web of court challenges to obstruct the work of lead investigator Tariq Bitar. Elsewhere, World Health Organization, WHO COVID-19 Technology Access Poll, and the Medicine Patent Poll MPP has finalized a licensing agreement with the Spanish National Research Council CSIC for a COVID-19 serological antibody technology. According to a statement by WHO, the test effectively checks for the presence of anti-SARS-CoV-2 antibodies developed either in response to a COVID-19 infection or to a vaccine, adding that this represents the first transparent global non-exclusive license for a COVID-19 health tool and the first test license signed by MPP and included in the WHO poll. Reacting to the news, the president of Costa Rica, Carlos Alvarado Quezada, the founding country of CTAP, said the license is a testament to what can be achieved when putting people at the center of a global and multilateral effort, stressing that those mechanisms such as CTAP can help the world overcome the current situation while being beneficial for future health crises. And still to come on the news, Super Eagles to camp in Nigeria ahead of 2021 African Cup of Nations. Stay with us. Thanks for staying tuned. On business news, new research by Standard Chartered has projected that global export will almost double from $17.4 trillion to $29.7 trillion over the next decade, with Nigeria topping the volume for Africa. The report sees Nigeria's export volume ranking at $112 billion by 2030. Report says 13 markets will drive much of the growth in identifying major corridors and 5 trends shaping the future of the global trade. In health, new and more infectious version of the Delta variant now accounts for 15% of coronavirus cases in the UK, according to the latest government data. Recall that UK health and security agencies designated it a variant under investigation on October 20. Data shows it is made up of 14.7% of sequence cases in the week ending November 6th. On a COVID-19 update, Nigeria's Center for Disease Control (NCDC) says 141 new cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed in Nigeria, putting the country's total new at 213,818. 46 of the additional infections were confirmed in Lagos, 44 in Benue, 15 in the FCT, 12 in Katsina, 9 in Bauchi, 4 in Kano, 3 in Delta, 2 in Enugu, Kwara, and Rivers, as well as 1 each in the states. 207,016 have been discharged, while 2,974 others have died from the ailment. In sports, Super Eagles coach Gernot Rao has revealed that Super Eagles are expected to come in Nigeria ahead of the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations. Barring any last-minute decision, Rao hopes to begin camping on December 28. Nigeria have been drawn alongside Egypt, Guinea-Bissau, and Sudan in Group D. The Eagles will face Egypt in their opening game on January 11th in Garau, with Nigeria winning their most recent encounter, a 1-0 win in a friendly in 2019. Rao, whose future as a coach of the team remains in doubt despite steering the Eagles to the playoff round of the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers, also wants to play one friendly game before they depart for the tournament. He also hinted that he may not be there for the tournament. Still in sports, 2021-2022 Nigeria Professional Football League season is expected to kick off on December 17th across 10 centers. Defending champions Akwa United will start their title defense at home in a match day one fixture against Kano Pillars at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo. The Pride of Benue Lobe Stars will host Rivers United at their Parkour Stadium, Makadi, with the club's manager Eddie Dombreye leading his side against his state for the first time in many years. On the entertainment scene, American rapper, record producer, and fashion designer Ye, commonly known by his former name Kanye West, has revealed that he plans to restore his family with his estranged wife Kim Kardashian, despite rumors of her dating Saturday Night Live comedian Pete Davidson. Ye shared his plans for a possible reconciliation during his visit to Los Angeles Mission, where he delivered a speech on the importance of being with loved ones. The rapper seems intent on reconciling with his wife of 6 years. Recall that Kanye West and Kim Kardashian split up early this year after the Kardashian filed for divorce. Kim has kept their $23 million Hidden Hills home in the divorce proceedings. And that's all we have for you this time. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, SpectrumTv.ng. You've been watching Spectrum News at 4.